Hi, welcome to my next video. Previously, I shared with you the 4 basic steps before starting your own business. Remember the LSHI or the LSHI? Today I'm going to explain more details on the S, which is support, and I for information. Kepada teman-teman saya sebangsa dan setanah air Indonesia, walaupun video ini dalam bahasa Inggris, jangan khawatir, do not worry, karena saya menyertakan subtitle dalam bahasa Indonesia. Namun, jika ada saran atau komen, silakan ketik di kolom komen. Oleh sebab itu, ikuti terus, like, dan subscribe video saya. I'm Andrew BD. I'm the co-founder of LSHI Consulting. I'm an observer and practitioner in business and people development as well as marketing. Now, today in this video, I would like to explain more on S, support, and I, information. Remember that in the previous video, there were two types of support, which are moral support and material support. Moral support is very important for you because it will give you motivation and positive thinking, especially from people around you who are close to you. Now, for the material support, which is related to capital. Every business needs capital to establish their business. But of course, it depends on the type of businesses. It may be big, it may be small. All of these are basic and may vary depending on the type of businesses that you have. Now, the capital is closely related to costing. Costing is essential to your businesses to support your operational. There are few keys which you really need to know or you really need to consider before you establish your business related with cost. The first is initial cost. Before you start your own business, you need to establish it. You need to register it because you want to have a legal entity, isn't it? So, when you process it for the registration, you need to prepare all of the documents. And then, of course, you submitted it to the government bodies who later on will help you to register and process your company. The type of legal entity may vary depending on your plan. And each country have different names. Probably you want to have limited or limited liability, or sendirian berhad, perseroan terbatas, or maybe corporation. So depending on you. And because you want to have a legal entity, you need to consider as well to set a budget to support this costing. This initial cost is for a taxation. Remember, if you want to have a legal entity or legal business, you need to pay tax. Now, next point is fixed cost. Fixed cost is very important because of what? You need to pay it regularly. You cannot run away from it. Fixed costs such as your water, electricity, phone, internet, or gas maybe, leasing, or renting, if you're leasing or renting in office buildings, you have to pay all of these costs regularly, either monthly, quarterly, or yearly. Some company might add into fixed costs the salary as well, because you need to pay the salary monthly as well to your staffs. The third is production costs. Now, the production costs as well may vary depending on the business. If you're producing your own products, you need to consider your production costs. How much material you're going to have as a stock and for your inventory. The best preparation is when you have stock available for you to produce your products. If you don't have any stock, you won't be able to produce your product, which later on you don't have anything to sell. So material cost is important for you. And then next one is collateral or promotions. I think all of the companies in the world have their own websites. So you need to pay the hosting for the websites. Probably if you want to boost your website, you might want to have a marketing campaign such as SEO, or the search engine optimization, or maybe use other sites such as Facebook as your marketing campaign. You need to pay a sum of fee as well for that. And let's say you want to print other collaterals such as brochures and leaflet as well. There will be a cost for that as well that you need to prepare. Last one is other costs, such as salary, as I mentioned before. You need to pay salary for your staffs if you have staffs who helps you to run the business, and you also want to consider office supplies or stationaries. You need papers, you need pens. If you don't have any papers or pens, I don't know how you're going to work. So stationaries or office supplies are also important for you as one of your operating. And as well, if you have sales force who are helping you going outside to promote your products or your business, you have to consider the transportation cost as well in these other costings. Okay, now for the I, or information. I mentioned before in my previous video, information is very essential for you before you establish your business, because in order for you to survive or to compete in the market, you need all of the information you have to support your business. Now there are few key points for information that at least that you need to have. The first is information on your competitors, who they are, how big they are, how long they've been in the market, what are their track records, what are their products, have they been in any troubles or sort of problems before in their businesses? Because if you know, you don't want to have the same mistakes like they did, isn't it? Related with products, what are their competitive advantages? And compared to your products, does your product have the competitive advantage? Now, all of this information that you need to compete in the market, you have to add up with other information, which is some business or some company neglected, which is price. Compare your price with your competitor's price. And then when you set up your price, you need to consider your base price, which is the COGS, or the cost of goods sold, and then add it up with the profit margin percentage, and then set it up, compare it with your competitors' pricing, and probably try to find out what are the factors or the elements that they use when they put the price on their products. The second is market. Are there any demands out there? And then who are your target market? Is it male or female, young or old? And you need to know the demographic as well, because probably in certain kind of area, maybe there are some people, or there are different kind of culture, and different kind of culture probably have different kind of like mindset or buying pattern that you really need to know. And then is your product are the best, or is your product, which I mentioned before, the competitive advantage? Because if there's no demands, you will be able to create a new demand, especially if your product will be able to monopolize the market. But of course, you need to plan ahead before you produce or you market your products. And then the last is your suppliers. If you produce your own products, you really need to have the information for your suppliers, because you don't want to rely on one supplier. If you have problems with your supplier, for example, they are unable to supply you or deliver the raw material to your warehouse, you definitely will have problems. And then of course, you don't have the bargaining price, because it's only one supplier. You don't have any choice. But if you have more than one supplier, which I suggest at least 3 suppliers, you won't have any troubles or any problems with your supply chain or delivery. If you have problems with a supplier, you have another suppliers to support you. And then of course, you will be able to bargain the pricing. So remember that, at least for my experience, you need to have 3 suppliers to support your business. So, have you choose yet? Which kid or which boy are you? I believe you choose the second boy, especially if you want to be successful entrepreneurs and have a great business. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe my video. Thank you for your time and thank you for watching. Wait for my next exciting video. The future is in your hand.